Hello and welcome to the Good Intentions Shop. And this is the first steps towards building your lasting performance. So, what I want to say before we begin anything, I just want to say thank you. And what I mean by that is, I want to say that you are now taking initiative and you're actually figuring out where you're currently lacking at the minute and how your training can be improved. Therefore, with this kind of training, you'll be walking away with absolutely clear clarity and exactly knowing where you're currently facing an issue at the minute for you to be able to get the results that you're after. So, how this training will look is we'll understand your current cycle at the minute in terms of work, in terms of family, and other commitments as well. Then we'll understand why it keeps happening. So, you always have them kind of good intentions going into the start of the week, but by Wednesday or Thursday, it all falls apart, and therefore, we're going to be identifying your biggest barrier at the minute. Then from there, we'll understand your next steps going forward for you to be able to get the results that you're after. In the S3, we look at the three different models, and that is diagnose, prescribe, and perform. Before we go into any of their models, we'll figure out what your current diagnosis is at the minute in terms of what's actually not getting you the results that you're after. So, why your good intentions are always there. So, you have them at the start of the week. You have a clear mindset on when you're going to train, how your nutrition is going to be on point. But life happens, and therefore, it could be in terms of work needs you to stay on longer. You've got a few extra hours in work. The kids are not well. Therefore, stress is up the left in terms of you missing one session. And then the saying goes, I'll start again on Monday. Therefore, we're wanting to try and find out why that's the case, and this is what we'll go through. An analogy that I currently use at the minute is people follow too many signals. So one person saying another, and then another person saying another thing. Social media, programs, friends, and coaches all do the exact same. And they're giving you their own verdict in terms of you actually knowing what's actually your own, because everybody has their own specific journeys. So the problem isn't a lack of information. You've got a lot of it, but you just haven't got a clear kind of way and pathway go forward with. And that's why I use the lighthouse kind of analogy here, where we're signaling down exactly one signal at a time for you to be able to manage and for it to be able to be realistic for you going ahead. So your first worksheet of the day's training will be your typical week, what it actually looks like, and understanding your cycle. So let's map it out. So pause this video if you need to. Take 10, 15 minutes of your time and actually put in what you're currently doing at the minute, not just what happened last month or last week. What is actually happening right now, this week? Write it all down. What I would tend to do would be, if you wanted to, do this on Apple Notes, or if you have this file, which is down below this training, and this will give you exactly the actual worksheet itself. If you want to print it out, highlight it, do all that jazz. We want to identify where you're currently having any form of we kind of gap scenarios where we can improve. So having things down on paper will help massively here. So take 10, 15 minutes, write down in terms of when you go to work, when you take the kids to school, when you're going to bed, and then also if you're ever traveling for work or anything like that, and then also in terms of training when you're trying to fit training in as well. Now, what I say as well to everybody is people try and fix every single thing at once. So stop trying to fix everything. Find out your first bottleneck first before you go on to the next. And that's why we created the second worksheet where we're going to identify where your first bottleneck is at the minute. So look honestly at your kind of week as a whole. Where does the cycle normally start to break down? Is it Wednesday or Thursday where work might be a wee bit more busy, or do the kids have after school classes to go to after their school? And then that's the bottleneck I want you to identify next. So the kind of quote that I want to give you: more effort isn't always the answer. Sometimes you need to stop pouring and actually start fixing the leak first of all. And using this kind of worksheet will be able to help you with that. Same again, take 10, 15 minutes, either have it printed out and then write down exactly everything that you are actually facing at the minute. So the next one, it's the difference between a roadmap and a performance goal can make massive difference. So you know where you're kindly going at the minute and where you want to be. You've identified your biggest bottleneck within this training. Now, don't make the mistake of everyone fixing everything at once. Think of your goal as the top of the mountain. So, you've got the peak of the mountain and you've got a Sherpa at the bottom of the mountain. And a Sherpa is more or less someone that helps you guide you along that journey. It doesn't take you every single step of the way, it just tells you exactly what path you should take going forward. And that's the exact way a coach should be as well. By identifying a roadmap, you can be able to prescribe each and every week what you're wanting to achieve and how you're going to get there. And that's the analogy that I use when someone's at the bottom of the mountain, they see their goal at the very top of that mountain and they're wanting to know how to get there. And as I say, stop trying to fix everything at once, take one step at a time. And that's why we have now created worksheet 3. It's your performance pillar scorecard. Now, if you could rank all of your kind of things at the minute in terms of training, nutrition, recovery out of 10, and then we'll be able to rank them from 1 at the more or less needs a lot of work to 10 doesn't need work. So therefore, if it's nutrition, that's the first thing we need to discuss. And then if it's training, then that's the second thing. Recovery, lifestyle, accountability, they all follow into place as well. If you could write all of your numbers out of a rating out of 1 to 10, therefore we can be able to rank them and then be able to attack each one at a time. So what's the next steps going forward? So where do you go from here, more or less? Hopefully today you've recognized something. Maybe if you realize you've been stuck in the same cycle that you have been with for months now, and maybe you found your biggest bottleneck is what the main aim of this training is. So maybe you've realized the problem isn't effort, it's the clarity. And the next step isn't downloading another training program because we've been there and we've done it and it exactly didn't work as well. So this it understands what's actually holding you back within this training and how you can go forward making that happen. Now, what I want to introduce you is that I am now hosting performance clarity sessions, and I only post about 2 of these a week, just because I want to give as much attention as possible to the guys that are inside the S3, but also to you guys that are looking to take advantage of this. So all I want you to do is scan the QR code, and that will be able to get you directly booked in with me for a performance clarity session. And that will be a one-to-one call and specifically just spoken on about where you're at the minute in terms of now you've now discovered where your bottleneck is at the minute. Now it's time to prescribe a solution for that problem. This training just gives you that step in the right direction. Now it's all about kind of taking that advantage of what this is. It's a free training, 45 minutes. It's not a sales call. I just want to point that out there. It's a performance clarity session where you walk out with clarity. If you want to join the S3 or not, you're still walking away with a clear crystal plan on how to get there with no obligation to sign up. So hopefully all of this training has helped you. And if you ever need anything, then you know where to contact me. I'll chat to you soon.